Ned was the only child of Mr. and Mrs. Ozo. She was the apple of her parents' eye. There was nothing she would ask her parents without them providing it for her. Everything was at her beck and call, but she had a problem that no one could solve. Not even her parents could solve this problem for her. This problem weighed her parents down. They tried all they could to help their child, but all to no avail. What was this problem? Ned was born with a rare condition that made her blind during the day but could see perfectly at night. Because of this condition, Ned was not able to attend to a regular school like other children. She was only taught at night. Her parents, not wanting their child to lack anywhere, taught her at night by themselves. They tried on different occasions to hire a tutor for her, but this proved abortive because all the tutors they met would only want to teach during the day, as their night sleep was always important to them. Neddy's mother, Mrs. Ozo, had to quit her job in order to aid her child during the day. She encouraged Neddy to develop her senses, and she incredibly skilled at navigating and recognizing sounds and smells. Ned was not able to make friends because of her condition. Their neighbors would not want to associate with her because they thought she was a witch. They would often mock and tease her, calling her names like Night Owl, Blind Bats. They would exclude her from games and activities during the day. And some even believed that her condition was a curse. Amaka, her cousin sister, was the only friend she had. Being of the same age, Amaka would always teach her anything she learned from school. Amaka's presence in her life made her so happy. At least she had someone to play with and not feel lonely all the time. One fateful day, Ned says to her parents, "Mommy, Daddy, please can you send me to a school like other children? I know you are worried about me, but I will be fine. I promise." Mr. and Mrs. Ozo, seeing how bright and talented Ned was, decided to send her to a regular school. Her classmates would often bully her. They were jealous of her unique ability to navigate and see in the dark, thanks to her hinted senses. One day, the school announced a prestigious science competition open to all students, including those from neighboring schools. The competition will test their knowledge and skills in various areas of science. Neddy's teacher encouraged her to participate, but the other students laughed and doubted her abilities. Determined to prove them wrong, Ned worked tirelessly to prepare for the competition. She used her exceptional hearing and touch to conduct experiments and gather data. Her project, Ecological in Bats, impressed the judges and she made it to the finals. On the day of the final presentation, Neddy's classmates were shocked to see her on the stage with students who were not blind. But as Ned presented her project with confidence, they began to realize that her blindness was not a limitation. In fact, it had given her a unique perspective and skill set. When Ned was announced as the winner of the competition, the audience erupted on applause. Her classmates were stunned and proud of her achievements. They finally understood that Neddy's blindness was not something to be mocked, but something to be celebrated. As Ned walked off the stage, her classmates rushed to congratulate her. They asked her to explain her project and how she had come up with her ideas. Ned happily shared her experience and knowledge with them. From that day on, Neddy's classmates treated her with kindness and respect. They learned to appreciate her strengths and abilities. and Nnedi formed lasting friendship with them. She proved that with determination and hard work, anyone can achieve their dreams, regardless of their ability. One of her classmates, a boy named Uche, was particularly impressed. He had been one of those who used to tease her, but now he felt ashamed. "I'm sorry," he told Nnedi. He asked Nnedi if she would be willing to work with him on their next school project, and Nnedi agreed. As they worked together, Uche learned more about Nnedi's ability and strengths. He realized that her blindness was not a weakness, but rather a unique perspective that could enhance their projects. Together, they created an innovative solution that impressed their teacher and earned them an A+. The school administration took notice of Nnedi's achievements and decided to create a more inclusive environment for students with disability. They started a program to provide resources and support for students like Nnedi, and they invited her to be the ambassador of the program. Nnedi's confidence soared as she became a leader of the program and a role model for her peers. She continued to excel in her study and extracurricular activities, and she inspired others to do the same. Years later, Nnedi became a renowned scientist known for her groundbreaking research on echolocation and accessibility. She never forgets her humble beginning and always advocated for inclusivity and empowerment of people with disabilities. And as for Uche, he became one of Nnedi's closest friends and biggest supporters. He learned a valuable lesson about the importance of kindness, empathy, and understanding, and he carried that with him throughout his life. As Nnedi grew older, she began to lose hope of ever finding someone who could truly understand and love her for who she was. But one fateful evening, while out for a walk, she met a kind and gentle man named Ike. Ike was immediately drawn to her beauty and strength, and he asked to meet her again the following night. They spent more time together. Ike learned about Nnedi's condition and was undeterred. In fact, he found it fascinating and admired her adaptability and resilience. Nnedi, in turn, was touched by Ike's kindness and acceptance. As the nights turned weeks, their love blossomed. Ike would often read to Nnedi during the day, describing the world around her in a vivid detail, and Nnedi would share her own insights and perspectives on life. Eventually, Ike proposed to Nnedi under the light of the moon, and she said yes. Their wedding was a beautiful celebration of their love, with Mr. and Mrs. Ozo beaming with pride. Together, Nnedi and Ike built a life that was full of love, laughter, and understanding. They proved to the world that true love knows no bounds, not even those of sight and darkness. And Nnedi finally found her happy ever after, surrounded by the love and acceptance she deserved.